it's very sour.
This must be that beautiful Skyrim weather I've always heard about.
Welcome to the college. Welcome to the college.
Restoration is a perfectly valid school of magic, and don't let anyone tell you otherwise. You consider Restoration a valid school of magic, worthy of study, don't you? Don't you? Good, good. Not that I require validation, of course. There are just some, and I shan't name names, who would disagree. It can make life difficult when one's colleagues fail to recognize the research one engages in. I'll gladly share my knowledge with you. Well, no, not really. Not directly, I mean. But I know things are being said behind my back. Conversations cease when I enter rooms. I'm quite aware of what's going on here, and I will not stand for it.
I don't want to... Hundreds of years have gone into assembling this collection. It's going to stay pristine, understand? And what do you plan to do with it? Do you even know what you're asking about? You think that even if I did have one here, I would let you see it? It would be kept under the highest security. The greatest thief in the world wouldn't be able to lay a finger on it. I don't know who told you that, but I'll do what I can. What we do have are plenty of books. I'll bring everything we have on them, but it's not much. So don't get your hopes up. It's mostly lies, leavened with rumor and conjecture. A mage is only as good as what he knows. I try to make sure as much knowledge is available as possible. We've been keeping this collection since the Second Era. Books have come and gone during that time, but it's mostly intact. A mage is... We've been keeping this collection since the Second Era. Book? Of course I do. If I didn't, most of these books would have been burned to ashes or dissolved to nothing before the Third Era. Mages need to be reminded to be careful around research materials. Please make sure your hands are clean before touching anything, all right? If you're feeling adventurous, I'm always looking for someone to procure valuable books from some more dangerous locations. Ah, some other time, perhaps. If you're feeling adventurous, I'm always looking for some... Well, all right, here. I scribbled down the last place I'd heard about. Check it out, but be careful. As a matter of fact, there are. Have you ever heard of Shalador? Immensely powerful mage, back in the First Era. Had an understanding of magic few have ever matched. He holed himself up in Labyrinthian, and devoted all his time to research and study. But more than you would imagine possible. Since then, his writings have been scattered all over Skyrim, but are little use to anyone who can't translate them. I'm one of the few who can. I've heard whispers of more of his work having turned up. If you can track it down, it may prove useful to all of us. Fight well. I don't want to see you treating any of these books poorly. Are we clear? All right, then. Hundreds of years have gone into... I have a few things laying around that weren't worth adding to the collection. You may look through them. Until next time. You need a book? You talk to me. And what do you plan to do with it? Do you even know? I knew it. Everyone comes in here expecting my help, but they don't even have the proper questions. An Elder Scroll is an instrument of immense knowledge and power. To read an Elder Scroll, a person must have the most rigorously trained mind, or else risk madness. Even so, the Divines usually take the reader's sight as a price. The simplest way to put it is knowledge, but there's nothing simple about an Elder Scroll. It's a reflection of all possible futures and all possible pasts. Each reader sees different reflections through different lenses, and may come away with a different reading. But at the same time, all of it is true. Even the falsehoods, especially the falsehoods. It would take a month to explain to you how that very question doesn't even make sense. The scrolls exist here, with us, but also beyond and beneath, before and after. They are bits of divine-made substance, so we could know them. Sorry, talking about the scrolls, you usually end up in irritating and vague metaphors like that. Some people who study them devoutly go mad. Ah, you think that even if I did have one here, I would let you see it? It would be kept under the highest security. The greatest thief in the world wouldn't be able to lay a finger on it. Of course. I'll bring everything we have on them, but it's not much. So don't get your hopes up. It's mostly lies, leavened with rumor and conjecture. Fight well. Here you go. Try not to spill anything on them. I don't want to see you treating any of the hundreds of years have gone into assembling this collection. It's going to stay pristine, understand? Aye, that's the work of Septimus Cygnus. He's the world's master of the nature of Elder Scrolls, but, well, he's been gone for a long while. Too long. Somewhere up north, in the ice fields. He said he found some old Dwemer artifact. But well, that was years ago. Haven't heard from him since.
Welcome to the college.
Enchanting services are one of the few things that keep us in touch with the rest of Skyrim.
Where'd you come from?
Welcome to the college.
Welcome, welcome. We were just beginning. Please, stay and listen. So, as I was saying, the first thing to understand is that magic is, by its very nature, volatile and dangerous. Unless you can control it, it can and will destroy you.
Sir, I think we all understand that fairly well. We wouldn't be here if we couldn't control magic.
Of course, my dear, of course. You all certainly possess some inherent natural ability. That much is not being questioned. What I'm talking about is true control, mastery of magic. It takes years, if not decades, of practice and study.
Then what are we waiting for? Let's get started.
Please, please. This is exactly what I'm talking about. Eagerness must be tempered with caution, or else disaster is inevitable.
But we've only just arrived
Are one of
here.
the few
You've no
things
idea
that
what any
keep
of us
us
are
in
capable
touch
of.
with the rest of
It's a chance
Skyrim.
to show you what we can do.
You've been quiet so far. What do you think we should do? Not going to weigh in either way? I admire your restraint, but there are times when you must make decisions, even without all the facts. Rely on instinct.
We're all pretty new at this, right? Let's just give it a chance. What's the worst that could happen?
All right, let's settle down. I suppose we can try something practical. In continuing with our theme of safety, we'll start with wards. Wards are protective spells that block magic. I'll teach you all a ward, and we'll see if you can successfully use it to block spells, all right? Would you mind helping me with a demonstration? Are you at all familiar with ward spells? That's what this lesson is for. Perfect time to try it out. Now, if you'll just stand right over there, I'll cast a spell at you, and you block it with the ward. Here we go. Over there, please, just opposite me. Wouldn't want anyone else in the way. Now, cast the ward spell and keep it up. You have to keep your ward up, or else this won't work. I don't want to hurt you. Over there, please, just opposite me. Wouldn't want anyone else in the way. Now,
Even
hold
with the
still.
college's laid-back attitude,
Excellent
there
work.
are still some things
Well,
that
I
are
think
off
this
limits.
is an excellent start. I'd like you all to continue practicing with wards, please. I think perhaps we're ready to begin exploring some of the various applications of magic throughout history. The college has undertaken a fascinating excavation in the ruins of Sarthal nearby. It's an excellent learning opportunity. I suggest we meet there in a few hours and see what awaits us inside. That's all for now. Thank you.
You know, this is one of a very few places where you can receive a real education in the schools of magic.
Good to see Skyrim still has such fine people. It's always encouraging to see the younger generations embracing education. The college will be here for you no matter what. We always look after our own. Education is never appreciated until after the fact. Young people never understand this.
I think my parents reserved a spot for me here at the college on the day I was born.